Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to dig into some of the most timeless lessons about money, the kind that quietly build real wealth over time. This isn't about those get-rich-quick schemes you see everywhere. Nope. This is about the foundational principles for building a life with genuine financial freedom. So let's start with the big question. What's the real secret to building wealth? Is it some complicated formula, a secret stock tip nobody knows about? Well, the truth is, it's actually something much, much simpler and way more personal.
And this right here, this is the core idea for our entire explainer. Financial success has way less to do with how smart you are and pretty much everything to do with how you behave. Just think about it for a second. We've all known absolutely brilliant people who are just a total disaster with their money. The single biggest factor isn't your IQ or your spreadsheets, it's your behavior.
To really get a grip on how this all works, we're going to break it down into 4 simple parts. First, we'll talk about building your foundation. Then, we'll cover starting the growth engine. After that, we'll get into how to play the long game. And finally, we'll discuss the ultimate goal of it all, freedom. Okay, let's dive right into part 1, building the foundation. Because look, before you can even think about growing wealth, you've got to have a strong base built on the right mindset and the right habits. This is one of the oldest and honestly most powerful financial rules out there. Think about it. When you get a paycheck, what's the first thing you do? You think about who you owe, right? The landlord, the utility company, the credit card. But this quote totally flips that on its head. It says some of that money belongs to you, for you to keep. And the absolute most effective way to do this is to pay yourself first. Seriously, before you pay a single bill, a piece of your income should be automatically sent over to your savings and investments. Automate it. Why? Because our self-control is usually way worse than we think, and automation just takes that weakness completely out of the equation. You live off what's left. It's such a simple shift, but it's a total game changer. Now, this brings up a really critical point. Our personal experiences with money shape absolutely everything we believe about it. For instance, if you grew up in a country with hyperinflation, saving money would seem completely insane. You'd spend it the second you got it before it became worthless. But if you grew up in a stable economy, that same behavior looks totally reckless. So who's right? Well, they both are. Each decision makes perfect sense in its own context. It's an amazing reminder that no one is crazy. We're all just a product of our own unique financial histories. All right, so as your income starts to grow, you come face to face with this silent wealth killer called lifestyle creep. It's that natural, sneaky tendency for your spending to expand right along with your paycheck. That big raise you got, poof, it gets swallowed up by a nicer car or eating out more often. The only antidote is to consciously fight that pull of social comparison. The game of keeping up with the Joneses, it's unwinnable, because there's always a bigger house or a newer phone. The only way to win is to run your own race. Okay, so with that solid foundation in place, it is time to make your money start working for you. And that brings us right to part 2, starting the growth engine. Warren Buffett's fortune is the stuff of legend, right? But his real secret wasn't just his incredible skill. It was his time in the market. He started investing as a kid. That is the mind-bending power of compounding. See, good investing isn't about chasing the absolute highest returns in a single year. It's about getting pretty good returns that you can stick with for a long, long, long time. And this right here shows the huge difference between saving and investing. Saving your money gives you linear growth. It's slow and steady. But investing allows your money to multiply, to grow exponentially over time. That massive gap you see widening between the two lines, that's the magic of compounding right there. Now, here's something that might actually surprise you. You can be wrong most of the time as an investor and still get incredibly wealthy. How? Because investing often follows the 80-20 rule. Most of your investments might just do okay or even lose a bit, but a tiny handful can deliver such massive returns that they more than make up for all the others combined. Even Warren Buffett himself said that the vast majority of his fortune came from just 10 big wins. So, you've built your foundation, you've fired up the growth engine. But here's the twist. Getting wealthy and staying wealthy are 2 completely different skills. This brings us to part 3, playing the long game. Think of it like this. Getting rich is offense. It usually means taking some risks, moving fast, and being really optimistic. But staying rich, that's all defense. It requires humility, a healthy fear that you could lose what you've built, and even a little bit of productive paranoia. You have to totally shift your mindset from pure growth to protecting what you have. So how do you play good defense? Well, first, you build in a margin of safety. You leave room for error because, let's face it, the future is always uncertain. Second, you have to respect the power of cycles. Markets go up and down, economies boom and bust, even your own career will have highs and lows. Surviving means being ready for that. And finally, you embrace humility and frugality. They are the bedrock of your defense, and they prevent that overconfidence that can lead to making really catastrophic mistakes. You know, psychologists call this the end of history illusion. It's this funny thing we do, where we know just how much we've changed in the past, but we totally underestimate how much our goals and our desires are going to change in the future. The person you are in 10 years is going to want different things. So your financial plan can't be so rigid that it just breaks when your life inevitably changes. And this brings us to our final and, I think, most important section. What is all of this for? What is the actual point of building wealth in the first place? We have to redefine what wealth actually is. When people say they want to be a millionaire, they're usually picturing spending $1 million. But that's the literal opposite of being a millionaire. True wealth is hidden. It's the money you don't spend. It's the fancy car not bought, the expensive watch not worn. It is the financial assets that give you flexibility and options in life. And this, right here, is the ultimate payoff. The highest form of wealth, the real end goal, isn't some number in a bank account. It is the ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want. It is complete and total control over your own time. Because really, no matter how much you love your job, doing anything on someone else's schedule can start to feel like a trap. The ability to wake up every single morning and say, you know what, I can do whatever I want today, that is the most valuable dividend that money could ever pay. It's absolutely priceless. So let's just end with this thought. Every single dollar you save isn't just a dollar. It's a tiny piece of your future freedom that you are buying for yourself today. So the question is, what are you doing to purchase more of it?
If you want more educational content like this, please subscribe to the channel.